So recently I've been in an art block, clearly as referenced by the lack of videos, even though I said, oh, 1 to 2 videos a month. Well, I'm also a fucking liar, so there's that. And so whenever I do have art block, one of my favorite things to do is to, or whenever I feel like my art style isn't developing at all, what I will do is I will go back and I will redraw an old drawing that I hate or just don't like and haven't liked since I drew it. Oh my god, what the fuck's wrong with me? Case in point, this drawing, the original plan for this drawing was to make it a speed paint and to explain every single one of my characters as I was drawing it and their role in the story and their lore or whatever, but I didn't like the drawing after I finished drawing it, and I knew I didn't like the drawing even while I was drawing it. I remember at the time I hated it, and so I decided that I would just redraw it. So this is the time-lapse footage, or the speed paint footage of the original drawing that I did. I really do hate this drawing, and I can't even say hated because I still do hate it. I despise it. I hate it so much. But, I mean, there's nothing I can do. What's done is done. Art is art, whatever. But I feel like the best way to humble yourself as an artist or to boost your own ego is to redraw old drawings. Because it is a reminder that you've come so far in your art journey. Sometimes you get too stuck in your own art. You know what I mean? Like, you stare at your current art for too long and you're like, this sucks, this is ass, this doesn't look like how I envisioned it, how my brain made it look like. And you go back and look at your old art and you redraw it and you see the progress you've made and how much you've improved over the last few years, and you're like, maybe my art isn't as bad as I thought it was, and maybe I'm just being too hard on myself. Because that's definitely how I felt with these two drawings. Because at first I didn't want to work in my sketchbook, obviously, and I just felt like my art style was stuck. I felt like my art was all going to shit, and I hated everything I drew. I didn't draw for a long ass time, and I refused to draw because I felt like if I touched a pencil and I drew anything, it would just ruin whatever I drew it on, which is mainly why I doodled on schoolwork, but we're not gonna talk about that. And then I think I didn't have a couple of my art supplies for a while because I gave them to a friend to borrow, and she never gave them back. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna draw digitally because why not? And I was going through looking for things to draw, and I remembered that I had this old ass drawing that I hated and I always hated and I wanted to fix, and so I just thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna redraw this. This drawing is really fucking old, from 2021, I believe. There's a bunch of stuff I can say and complain about, but if I talk for too long and I insult too much, I'd start to sound like Solar Sands, so I would much rather not do that. If you know, you know. If you don't know who Solar Sands is, you're probably too young to be watching this. And this is the final drawing. Like I said, looks like ass, but that's all I've been saying about the drawing for the past forever, and I think if I went back in time and I got me from 2021 to say anything about the drawing, I think he'd probably said the same thing. Now, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the drawing of the video, if you will. I think I drew this a couple weeks ago, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. I was supposed to make a video about this drawing forever ago, and then I just got too tired and lazy and I never did. As per usual, but whatever, I'm sure you guys expect that out of me by now. Anyways, this drawing was probably my favorite thing that I've drawn recently. It took me a lot of time, but I really like it, and even though I feel like my art hasn't been improving, my art style is still the same and as shitty as it was 3 years ago, the comparison of these two pieces, if you could call it that, side by side definitely disproves my point. Because they don't look anything alike. I literally, once I finished this drawing, I put the two drawings side by side and I looked at them and I was like, oh, yeah, one of these definitely is in a higher quality than the other, and it's really obvious which one it is. Another big difference between these two art pieces is not only in the style and the coloring and whatever, but also in the characters. The characters are all the same, but they're a lot more three-dimensional and developed than they were when I first drew this, when I drew the original image. Because most of them were, oh, bad guy bad, or oh, good guy good. But now they're a lot morally gray characters, and they're a lot more, you know, complicated and complex, because I love complex characters. They're my favorite. I love them. And there's a lot more story, which I will get into, I promise, but I sort of feel like no one wants to hear me yab about my OCs for like an hour. So it depends on what everyone else fucks with, I guess. I don't fucking know. But yeah, this is the final drawing. I think it looks awesome because I'm biased, and also, in my humble opinion, it's way better than the original image. Oh my god. But yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, or whenever the fuck you're watching this. And stay swag, stay awesome. Skibbity toilet Ohio god. I'm cutting that part out of the video. Don't editor me, don't put that part in.